For Reaper Metal Productions, I am Adam of Unbaptized Records, making a brand new video for you today. Today is another What's in My Bag. I have a nice little pile here, hopefully CDs I have not gone over already on camera, but that may have happened. So unfortunately, if that has, then there's going to be some repeats here. But I think these are all worth showing off on video, except one of them is kind of a funny release that I have. So not really a funny story behind it, but when I get to it, I'll explain a little more, I guess. But the first one is one of my favorite Italian bands, and that is the band Hour of Penance with the album Sedition. So the reason I brought this up specifically is because this is the only album that had not been released on vinyl up until very recently. So in the last few months, there are three colored vinyl pressings, or three different versions pressed. So Lamo Black, Clear, and then what I thought was more like a blue. This is obviously a blue cover, but I guess its label is green. Either way, they had it on, I believe, Prosthetic Records, which is the one who put on the CD as well. I don't remember if it was them or not. I believe it might have been put out the LPs, but for the U.S., I'm not sure where Prosthetic is located. It might be the U.S., it might not be. Oh, Los Angeles. But I ended up grabbing my copy from Indie Merch Store out of Ohio. So mine's on the way. It should be here Monday, I believe, which is really cool. But that will complete my collection for the band. Again, really big fan, technical death metal out of Italy. I can't really say how much I like them more because I've talked about them so many times, and I feel like if you haven't checked them out by now, you're probably not going to check them out, but I definitely recommend them, especially if you like technical death metal. I think they're great. So start with the early albums and then make your way to this if you are still interested. Next, I have just kind of an odd choice here, and that's the band Kreator with their 2017 album, Gods of Violence. So this was a little bit of a weird choice. It was also one of those that I picked up kind of because around 2017 when this came out, I was just buying up records left and right and center. The single on this is Satan is Real. The songs really aren't great, so this is probably one of those like quote-unquote albums I regret buying sort of in that list. It really was just because I knew who the band was. I knew their earlier music. I was aware of it, even though I didn't listen to it much. I just knew that they were a big deal. And I picked this up. I would much rather have the earlier albums. This is one of the examples of a band that like really didn't need to keep going after maybe the early 90s. Because this really isn't that great of an album. Although I did mention Phantom Antichrist on here, and I did enjoy that. So maybe that's where they could have stopped. I don't know. But this is kind of an unnecessary own for me. And it even has a DVD of Live in Wacken 2014, which I'm sure I'm never going to watch, so really don't need that one. But the rest of them are great, and this is another Razorback release, which I mentioned I bought 20 of his albums for $50, and this is the New Jersey death metal band Deteriorate. So if that name sounds familiar, maybe it's because you saw Justin Horvill's interview with the guitarist, I believe. I think he did one interview, if not two. But this is a pretty awesome band, again, from New Jersey. So death metal band, pretty close to me. I've seen that they've toured a few times. I've just never been able to see them, but they're definitely on my list. I also have a 10-inch by them, a 7-inch, and a 12-inch that Justin actually hooked me up with. So I thought that was really cool. Next is one of my favorite splits by the band, and this is a band that is definitely well known for their splits, and that is Nunslaughter with their split with Blood. So I feel like Blood can do no wrong with splits. There's the Blood Incantation split 7-inch that came out recently that I picked up. There's this Nunslaughter split that Blood did that I have the LP of as well, which I've signed by some of the members of Nunslaughter. And then also probably the most famous Blood split, at least as far as I've kind of heard from the underground, is the Impetigo split, which I've mentioned on here before. And I have that on tape, so that's really awesome. And this was my first release by Blood. I know they've been around a long time, and I just somehow missed out on them, but I really enjoy them, and the Nunslaughter side is great too, because this is like, you know, the recent Red is the Color of Ripping Death era, which I really enjoy. So, and then last but not least is a little known band out of the Midwest, I believe Minnesota. They are called Annihilation Process. And the album is Sickening Madness. So this is some thrash, really awesome thrash. 6 songs, nothing crazy, EP. I actually just recently picked up another copy of this so I could maybe do a giveaway in the future. But I really, really enjoy this band. Like, if you take away one thing from this video, it's how awesome this band is. Like, I do love, bands I mentioned before, other than really later Kreator stuff. Our Penance is awesome too, but if I had to pick one of the 5 I showed you that I would really, really recommend, it'd be these guys. So definitely pick them up when you can. There's a limited amount of these EPs, and hopefully they do more music. So let me know what you thought of this music in the comments. I'll see you in the next video.